Howdy, everyone. It's been a minute. Well, it's only been a week for you, but it's been longer than that for me because I record these in advance. But I hope you're having a great time, whenever the hell time it is, wherever you are. As always, my name is Landyn, your future Landyn Zane, your future favorite pop star. And I am, as always, your favorite host of your favorite podcast ever, in general, for the record. Now, I hope y'all are doing well. I am busy doing a lot. I'm getting ready. I'm going to Iowa in a few days. As I record this, I'm leaving in, oh God, I hate math. I think 6 days. I'm leaving on Saturday, and it is currently Sunday as I record this, the night before I think this episode comes out. But we have a lot to talk about today, so I think we'll just dive in. One thing that I want to put y'all on to is I've been watching as I work my remote job to make that scattle, makes a little bit ching ching, make some money. I've been watching old MTV broadcasts from the 80s of like when they would just play music videos, and it's not just music videos. I'm finding the old recorded broadcasts and just putting them on the TV in the background, and it's playing the music videos, it's playing like the VJs, the commercials, the interviews, it's playing all of it, and it's hours and hours. I have a playlist on my YouTube account that's like not my channel, but my own personal account that's like 50 or 60 hours long of just old broadcasts from MTV from like 1982 to like 1985 or 6, and it is the best thing in the world because it shows like one, how many bangers there were out in the 80s, but then also how horrible some 80s music is and how cheesy some of the commercials are. It's just the best, and it also helps me expose me to new music and new information, so I love it so much. And if y'all want to try watching something new or having something different on in the background other than like a podcast, go download like the old, you can find them on the like Internet Archive. Just go download the old broadcasts of MTV, and I just put them on the TV right here and just play it in the background. And it's become one of my favorite things in general that is new in my life, which may be kind of sad that that's one of the exciting new things in my life, but you know, the little victories, I guess. What else? It's been a little over a week since my new single has come out. If y'all didn't know, I put a new single out called Searching for You. Go stream it, share it, add it to playlists and stuff. It's been doing really well. I've actually been kind of slacking in terms of the direct promotion of the single, but it's still been doing good numbers, which is really fulfilling to me because it means like people are naturally going to stream my music because they're just going back and returning to it. So it's super motivating. And the thing about like, I think a lot of people, especially in like my TikTok comments, when I talk about different artists and music and stuff, and people think I'm hating on people and they leave hate comments and stuff, which whatever. But I think people think that like my main goal is podcasting when it's not even remotely. This is an avenue and a way for me to have content and talk about my life and stuff that I hope y'all are enjoying. But obviously music is the main thing. And it is nice to see that even if I'm kind of coming back a bit from the hard promotion on the songs, my new single and stuff, that it's still doing well, which is super motivating. And I really like the new single, Searching for You, and I'm working on some new stuff too. I'm always working on stuff. I say that all the time, but it's just super fulfilling. So if y'all haven't streamed it, or let me know what y'all thought or anything, just let me know what y'all think. And also, like, the podcast is doing really well. I have clips that are getting tens of thousands of views on either TikTok or Shorts and stuff. And I'm thoroughly enjoying this. It's a good avenue for my ADHD, and it's fun. I can talk about whatever I want. Like, we're recording the episode just talking about my favorite albums of all time, and just getting to talk about music I love. And even the Taylor Swift episode, when people online, anytime I post a clip from that episode on like TikTok, people only leave hate comments because they hate me, because apparently you're not allowed to criticize anyone online anymore. I'm not even criticizing her. I was making criticisms about the album when I also said I enjoyed the album. But like, I'm thoroughly enjoying this. I just love talking about music and talking about being creative. And I'm excited to start having guests on the podcast, like a few of my friends here, and just I'm really, really excited. I really enjoy doing this, and I hope y'all are liking it too. And if you are, subscribe, share, do whatever. Let's make this grow. I'm going to stop. I'm going to move on because I absolutely hate that. And this is going to be a freaking packed episode because the past week, the amount of new music that has come out that I absolutely love is insane. So, where do we want to start? We'll start with the one that came out the soonest, which was Gracie Abrams' new single "Risk," and she announced a new album, "The Secret of Us." I think it's called. The song's incredible. I mean, I said it before in one of the last episodes, but I think Gracie is not only my dream female collaboration, but I think she's probably just my dream collaboration in general, other than like Elton John and my idols. But like of a contemporary artist, I don't know if I think there's anyone more talented in terms of songwriting or just my style of songwriting. She's so talented. Risk is so good, and I'm so excited. The difference between the release time and the announcement time of the album isn't that long. So like the album comes out in I think like a month, or I can't remember when. I think it's June. I'm so excited. I love Gracie Abrams so much. She's so talented. She has a great voice. She can write the hell out of a song. And she's funny. She's obviously beautiful. But like, I don't know. And just in general, Risk was a great single. And also like, that girl's been busy. She was doing the Eras tour. And then she put out an album last year, and then she was just casually like, yeah, I got a new album coming out. Here you go. Huh? What? Girl, you put out an album last year. Most of these artists nowadays are doing new albums every 3 years. And you're doing a 12 calendar month or 12 calendar year. Numbers are hard for me. Impressive. I respect it. That's the kind of artist I like. That's a 70s artist. That's an Elton John, a Billy Joel. Well, not really Billy Joel. That's an Elton John. Or that's a very something like they did in the 60s and 70s. They were just banging them out. An album every year. I respect it. I love it. And I cannot wait for the new album. And then Risk was great. Then we move on so that came out on like a Tuesday. Last Tuesday or last Wednesday. And then there's a new album, which we'll get to, because I think we're going to spend most of the rest of the episode talking about the new album. And then there is a new single that I think one of my favorite modern artists that I haven't talked about on the podcast, I'm pretty sure. He dropped a new single for a new album he's starting to tease, Dayglow. I think Dayglow, if I had to choose a producer or somebody like... If I had to choose a dream male contemporary that's my age and my style of music and that has really inspired me, Dayglow's up there. Like, I learned to produce music a large majority of the ways, and I learned to produce music was by watching his How I Made from his first 2 album videos and just like stealing tricks he had and trying things he did. And like, I learned to produce a large majority of my music through those videos. And like, I think Harmony House is one of my favorite albums, and Fuzzy Brain. I wasn't a big fan of his last album, People in Motion. I did see him on tour for that album cycle, and he was so good. I got a t-shirt at that show. But he's so talented. And let me tell you, every little thing I say I do, long song name, it's so it's so good. It's such a good song. It's so punchy. It's so short. It feels like, and I know people didn't love People in Motion. I absolutely loved it. I didn't love it. Okay. I didn't love it as much as I loved his first 2 albums, but I still thoroughly enjoyed it. And the production on it was incredible. Like Second Nature, what was the big, oh my gosh. The first single off that album. That song is incredible. That song is amazing. Oh my gosh, what is that song called? Hold on. We're going to give her the old googs. But like in this new single, it feels like more of a throwback and a callback to his original, more production style from like Fuzzy Brain. And the song is so good. It's so sweet. And he's got his wife that he writes all his songs about. And it's so cute. Like how much he writes about her. I hope I'm making an assumption, but I'm pretty sure that all his songs are about her. But it just, I don't know, man. It's a great song. Then It All Goes Away is the song I was thinking about. That song is one of my favorite Dayglow songs. But this new song, it makes me so excited. And I watched his live stream before the song came out on Friday night, or it was Thursday night. I watched the live stream he did for like 15 minutes before the song came out, and he was like, I may or may not be teasing new music. It was like, you're releasing more than just a single. It's like, you're putting an album out. I was like, come on. I think my theory, I'm putting this out there now, my theory is the album is called Sloan because he said something during the live stream that was like, it felt like, I don't know. I'm putting it out there that Dayglow's new album is called Sloan. Just putting it out there. I'm making a guess. But I'm so excited for new Dayglow music. Like, he brings such vibes. And he's so awkward in the best way. Like, I love everything he does. His production tutorials. He had a podcast for a short amount of time. Every interview. Like, his personality, he's so charming because he's so awkward. But he's so funny. And he's such a great producer and a songwriter. And he's so talented. And I love music. I just love music. I actually, last night, this is completely changing the subject from the new music, but like last night I literally cried, just literally sat. I was rewatching one of my favorite TV shows and I was watching the finale and that made me start crying. But then like that, and then thinking about everything I'm getting the opportunity to do, like I love music so much and I love being creative so much. And the fact that I'm here in LA and I get the opportunity to do all this, like I just bawled. I was so grateful, like so happy and so grateful that I get the opportunity to do this. It just like, I can't imagine wanting to do anything more than what I'm doing. And I talked about this with Sebastian a few days ago. Like, I'm not saying it's not hard. It's the hardest thing I've ever done is move to LA by myself and just have to be an adult and figure it all out. But like, I don't know. I can't really imagine anything I would want to do more than what I'm doing right now, which is such a phenomenal feeling. God, I can't put it into words how grateful I am for the chance that I just get to be creative and make music, even though I'm by definition not doing it successfully at this point. I will get there. It's a slow build. It's a grind, but I'm so grateful for everything I get to do. But yeah, going back to what we were talking about, the new Dayglow single is great. Now, the main attraction of the week, at least for me, I know that there's some stuff with these new rappers on the come up called Kendrick Lamar and Drake. I'm not getting into that. Personally, not a Drake fan. Just not my style of music. Kendrick Lamar is one of my favorite rappers. But we're not going into that because that is a freaking fucking dumpster fire I don't even want to touch. But we're going to talk about one of my current favorite pop artists, one of her new album, Dua Lipa, Dua Peep, my wife, my queen, the woman that reposted my TikTok. Like when Houdini first came out, I posted a TikTok and she reposted it and it got a lot of views before all her music got taken off TikTok. Radical Optimism. In my thoughts. Let me tell you, I love the new album. I love it. And I think when I first heard the album, I kind of figured, so based off the singles and based off the reaction online, especially on TikTok, it was seeming like a lot of people weren't liking it as much, her new singles, because they're like, it's just future nostalgia. One, the thing I would like to point out is that this idea of reinvention is absurdly placed on female artists, which is ridiculous because like one of my favorite albums ever is Dawn FM by The Weeknd. When that album came out, I didn't see very many people being like, it's just After Hours. Or even like Starboy. Starboy kind of bled into After Hours a bit. I'm pretty sure that was the album before. I'm pretty sure it went Starboy and then After Hours. I don't think there was anything in there in between. And then it went Dawn FM. But those albums sound pretty like they're leading into one another and they don't really change much. But Dua Lipa puts out one single and people are like, it's just a Future Nostalgia outtake. I burped. Excuse me. Really? That's absurd. That's ridiculous. Because one, Houdini it sounds somewhat like Future Nostalgia because it's got similar 70s and 80s stuff. Kevin Parker's obviously very 70s and 80s synth. The Tame Impala stuff is very disco influenced to an extent. And then, so it went Houdini, Training Season, which I didn't think sounded anything like Future Nostalgia. And then Illusion, which I think sounds the most like Future Nostalgia, which has since probably become my favorite single because it's such a fun song. Even if it's not the best, I don't think it's one of the best songs on the album, but I think of the singles, it's my favorite single because it's such a fun song. But in general, I love the album. I think it's great. I think the main criticism I'm seeing is that the songwriting isn't great. It doesn't get super personal and super specific, and it feels kind of general and generic, which I can agree with to a certain extent, but I think in terms of pop songwriting and making it very catchy and very memorable for pop songs, I think in terms of that aspect of the writing, I think it's incredible. And I also think this might be my favorite produced album of the year. The bass lines on this album, I don't know who played the bass on the album. It might have been Kevin. I don't know if Kevin plays bass. Kevin Parker, if y'all don't know who I'm talking about, he's the guy from Tame Impala, and he helped produce a lot of the album. Whoever played bass on the album is incredible, and I think overall, while it sounds similar to Future Nostalgia, I actually prefer this album's production to Future Nostalgia because it feels more original, and it feels like it pushes towards something newer in pop music versus what Future Nostalgia did, which sounded a lot more retro, and like a lot of the stuff had already been done before. But I really, really like this album. So I think, like we've done before, I think the easiest way is just to go through the track list. So I'll just pull up the track list right now. Before we go into it further, Caroline Polachek put a new song out, Queen. It's for that new weird movie. My dad sent me the trailer. He said, this looks super weird and terrible. He goes, you'll probably love it. Well, he told me that on the phone, and then he told me to watch a trailer. And he is correct. I do want to see the movie. It's called I Saw the TV Glow, but the new song Caroline Polachek put out, fire. But back to Radical Optimism. So the opener, End of an Era, is honestly might be my least favorite song on the album. I don't love it. I get it, and I get the sentiment and the idea of it, but it's probably my least favorite song on the album. But then it goes, I think my main issue, other than some of the songwriting on the album, might be the track listing, is because End of an Era, I think, is a good, in terms of what it's trying to do, I think it's a good opener, but then immediately after an opener, going into the first two singles of the album, I don't think is good track listing. I just think, I don't think you open an album and then you immediately give people two of the three singles that they've already heard. I don't think that's a good way to bring people through an album and want to get them to keep listening, is to play them songs they've already heard. You want to give them something new and then sprinkle in the hits they already know. But that's beside the point. So then it goes, track 2 is Houdini, fire, love it. Track 3 is Training Season, love it. I loved all the singles. And then one of my favorite songs, oh gosh, it might be my favorite song. It's one of my favorite songs. Track 4 is These Walls. I think the vocal production on These Walls is the best on this album. It, like, the high notes she hits and the way that her vocals are layered and produced is so well done. And it's the best. I think it's probably the best vocal production on the album, and it's so catchy. And like, I know 5 Seconds of Summer and other people have done the concept of like, if these walls could talk, but it's still such a great song. And I think it's probably, if there's going to be a post album release single, which I think is becoming more and more of a trend, I think it'll probably be These Walls. But then track 5, when I listened to this album the first time, I've listened to it 4 or 5 times since at the time of recording this. When I first listened to the album all the way through, What You Doing, which is track 5, was my favorite song on the album. And it very well may be. I loved that. Oh my gosh. It's so catchy, and it's so... I understand it's not the best written song, but in that the whole "Tell Me What You're Doing to Me," like, it's nothing new in pop, but the bass line, the vocals, the hooks, how catchy it is and how memorable, the melodies. What You're Doing is a phenomenal song. I absolutely love it. I'm not picking my nose. If you guys see me itching my nose, I literally, like, my nose is so itchy, and it's the tip of my nose. Don't know why. Couldn't tell you. But What You're Doing, and it still might be my favorite song on the album overall. But then you move on, track 6, French Exit. People are talking shit about this song. This song is great. French Exit is great. It may be, in terms of originality of production and doing weirder stuff and experimenting, this might be the most experimental song on the album, and I love it. That, like, spoken word section she has as, like, a post-chorus, it's weird, but I love it. And, like, the French in the, I don't know what I'm assuming she's speaking French because it's called French Exit. It's a great song. It's one of my favorites on the album too. Then you go into the third single, Illusion, which is great. It's such a fun song, and now, like, if you listen to it, I recommend listening to it, the whole album actually as a whole. If you listen to it with over-the-ear headphones, it sounds a lot better. You can hear the whole production. It kind of pulls you in more, and it sounds a lot more immersive, obviously, because that's like what full over-the-ear headphones do, but I love it. Illusion, when you listen to it like that, is such a good song. The whole album played on headphones like that is so good, but I don't know what it is about Illusion. It's so catchy, and it's so danceable, and it's such a great groove. But this whole album I really do love, and the production is great. It's a lot of times it can feel like it may be like 70s and 80s music with Tame Impala stuff, but it also feels pretty original and pretty new, and I really do love the album. And I love Dua Lipa. She is super talented, and she's great at writing pop. Like, I know people are talking shit about the lyrics, like I said, of like, it's not personal, it's super carbon copy, but they're super memorable. They're super fun songs, and I think it's great. But then we move on. Track 8, Falling Forever. I'm going to be honest, I have to remind myself what this sounds like. Oh yeah, can we keep on? No, this song's good. It's not my favorite, but it is a good song. And I like the verses on this song, if I remember them correctly. Yeah, I like it has got a good groove. I really do like the verse melodies. The how long that's not my favorite, but I like the verses. This is a fun song. And then Anything for Love. This is the one that starts with like the studio, but then it goes into like the full production and then comes back out and sounds like it was all done live in studio, but it's not at parts. At least I don't think so. I think that they recorded it live and then produced a lot of it around it and put ad-libs over it, and then they brought it back out into the live part. Other than End of an Era, Anything for Love might be my least favorite song on the album. it's just not my thing. It's also really short, and I get it. Don't like short songs. I'm not a big fan of short songs either, unless they're really well done or they really hold my attention and change a lot. I would rather have a song like play out longer and take up more time and allow it to develop ideas than have something super short that doesn't have much happen. And I kind of feel like that's what this song can feel like. But then after Anything for Love, we go into, oh God, I love this song so much. Maria, other than What You Doing, no, I am going to say it. Maria is the best song on this album. The concept, I really like the concept. The only song I can think of that has a similar idea to this is All of the Girls You've Loved Before by Taylor Swift, which is a pretty similar idea of like, thank you to your exes, like saying thank you to your current boyfriend's ex because they helped them become a better person. But this song does it so much better than To All the Girls I've Loved Before. The song is the bass line, the groove, the vocals, oh my gosh. This song's so good. This is the best song on this album. I'm not afraid to say it, actually. This song is incredible. It would be up there in terms of my favorite Dua Lipa songs. Like, oh my gosh. Yeah, this is one of my favorite Dua Lipa songs. It's the best song on this album. What You Doing is close, but this is the best song on the album. I don't really know what else to say. And it also, other than French Exit, it also is one of the most original songs on the album. It's got the acoustic guitar. It's got some more experimental, weirder stuff that it does. It's just, it really, really is good. It really, really is good. All right, and then track 11 on the album is Happy For You. This is the only song on the album that when it started, immediately, obviously, because at the beginning it starts with Kevin's vocals, you can obviously tell that that's Kevin Parker's voice of like that sea of vocals and reverb that washes over the entire intro. It's the only song that I heard it and I was like, clearly, this feels like a Tame Impala song that he just gave to Dua Lipa and was like, use this. It's the only song. And you can tell this is produced, a lot of it by Tame Impala and Kevin Parker, but Happy For You was the only song where I was like, this is clearly, this feels like a Tame Impala song that Dua Lipa sang on. I didn't like the song, but it was that huge wash of vocals and those strange like birds at the beginning. It's not my favorite. It's super washed out in reverb, and it's the lyrics on Happy For You are some of my favorite on the album. Like the now I know everything was real. I'm not mad. I'm not hurt. You got everything you deserve. Well, I must have loved you more than I ever knew. I'm happy for you. That's a great lyric. That's just great pop writing, and it's very like that's an emotion that I think almost everyone has felt at some point in their life before, of like, I love you so much that I love you more than I even realized that I just want you to be happy. And this song does a great job of getting that emotion across, and the lyrics are great. It's just, I don't think I think that in terms of the production on this song, this is probably my least favorite, other than Falling Forever. Or anything, not Falling Forever, Anything for Love. Yeah, just because like I said, the live thing and then going into the production, I like the idea of it, but it's kind of, and the song's short. But I think Happy For You, and Happy For You is a great closer. And also because like it's a great thing to cap off the end of the album, of just like, you have all this emotion and processing that Dua is clearly going through writing this album. Even if people don't think the songwriting is good, like she's clearly processing all these emotions. And for her to end the whole album with like, I'm happy for you, it's great symbolism. And I really like this album, guys. And I know I can't wait. The good thing is that a lot of people only watch the clips, but enough people are starting to recognize me through all the clips that they're starting to be like, he said this about this, but he said this about this, which doesn't make sense, at least to them. And I can't wait for people to be like, he criticized this about Taylor Swift's album, but he said this about Dua Lipa's album when he's wrong, which makes me laugh. Because, like, I love this album, and I like the Taylor Swift album, but this is more my style of music. This is more upbeat. This is more dance. This is more disco and 80s. And I really like this album, guys. And I know I know this is the most unpopular opinion about this album, but I like this more than I like Future Nostalgia. I know there's more hits on Future Nostalgia. I know that it's more I know Future Nostalgia is gonna be more popular, at least in America. I know that Dua Lipa is massive. She's headlining Glastonbury in the UK, which she talked about. I watched her Zane Lowe interview, and she said that was one of her big career goals for this album and for her career. Was one of her dreams was to headline Glastonbury. And I love this album, man. Like, it's really, really good. It takes enough of Future Nostalgia, which I still don't understand the criticism of when people are like, we love Future Nostalgia. And then now that she's taking elements of that and then experimenting, but people are criticizing her and saying, this is just Future Nostalgia. Like, that doesn't make sense. And also, this album is definitely more experimental and has more 70s influences, especially because it has a lot of, like, the tape echo and a lot more guitars and a lot. It's definitely not as 80s as Future Nostalgia. And I don't know. I love this album, guys. It's really good. And in terms of what I want to do with my own music, there's a few elements in this album that, like, the second I heard it, I was like, okay, there are things I'm trying to do for myself as a pop artist that they did on this album. Especially the vocal production on certain songs and the grooves. This album, I think the best parts of this album are the vocal production is incredible. The drums and percussion and the grooves, like the danceable nature of this album is incredible. It is so well done, so well produced, and obviously, like, saying that anything that Kevin Parker and Tame Impala is involved in is danceable and has good grooves is like a no shit statement. But it really is true. So there's that, and then the bass lines. I should actually look up. I should go on Genius and figure out who played bass on this album. Dua Lipa. Like, because the bass playing, it's obviously like 70s funk and disco inspired, but it is incredibly well. The bass lines, I haven't heard an album with bass played as well as this and as memorable as this in, oh my God, I couldn't tell you how long. It's been, honestly, I think probably the album with the best bass lines before this was either a Tame Impala album or Future Nostalgia. Like, I want the credits, people. Where are the credits? Baseline credits. Why is finding credit? Okay, we're just gonna go to the Wikipedia page. Excuse me. Caroline. Well, Kevin Parker played bass on some of the songs. So it was a combination of Kevin Parker. That man can do everything. I love Tame Impala. I need to actually learn more about his production style and research more about him because he's incredible. I didn't know he played bass. And then Caroline Aylan. I know she's a good friend of Dua's, and they produce a lot of stuff together. And they worked together on this album for a lot of it. And they wrote New Rules together too. But, oh wait, no. That's his backing vocals. Oh my god, I'm illiterate. I can't fucking read. Jesus. This is backing vocals. Yeah, okay, I'm illiterate. So Kevin played bass on every song, but These Walls and tracks 9 and 10. And then whoever played bass line, hold on. Who played the bass line on what you doing? It was Kevin. Yeah. Okay, so it's just Kevin Parker. Then it just means that Kevin Parker is a genius and he's a god at production and he's incredible. And then the other person that played bass on the song was Danny L. Harrell. Danny L. Harrell. I don't know. I'm not having a stroke, but I don't know. I don't know what else to say about this album. Like, I just love it. If you haven't heard it, go listen to it. I know Americans are talking shit about Dua Lipa. I've seen on TikTok a lot, which I don't enjoy. I don't understand. I understand criticizing music because as a musician and as a producer and as a songwriter, I understand, like, the whole thing is like competition and criticism breeds innovation, which is good for the consumer. That's the whole idea of capitalism, which we won't get into that. But so I understand the idea behind that in terms of music, but I don't understand the flop era before an album comes out or anything like it based off a single. Like Taylor Swift's new album didn't even get a single before it came out. And I fully understand, like, if I don't like an album or if I have criticisms for an album or I think there's positives and negatives, I have no problem talking about it, especially because my thesis of life is being nice and being kind. But when it comes to being competitive and being a competitor with a major artist, obviously I'm not at that level, but just in general, like being competitive in terms of my music career, I'm ruthless because I want to win. So I have no problem being like, this is good, this is bad, this is what I like, because not only does it help me learn, but like, I like being competitive. But I don't like, the thing about most criticism online is that it feels like, especially around like pop culture and music and movies and entertainment, is, I don't know how we're getting into this, but this is what we're going into, I guess, is that like people don't seem to like, I watched, oh gosh, what's the YouTube channel's name? He's one of my favorite YouTubers. His name is Mike the Snare. He had put a video about this, talking about Taylor Swift's new album, and he said his main thing about this album is that y'all don't like music as much as you really think you do. Because any criticisms that he saw talking about the Taylor Swift album and any criticisms I've seen talking about this album is that they're talking about things that aren't relating to the music. They're talking about artists' image, their brand, their fashion, their dancing, anything else. And industry babies, or nepotism, or industry plants and nepo babies. That's what I meant. They're talking about everything around it, but they're not talking about the music itself. Because at the end of the day, y'all don't like music as much as you really do. You like pop culture, and you like drama, and you like gossip. And I love me some gossip. I love me some drama. But spreading it online is not, I don't really enjoy that. In person, with my friends, I'll do it all the live long day. It's my favorite thing, just because I'm a gossip. But spreading it online, I don't enjoy, because people find a way to just use it as a place to spread negativity, and I don't enjoy that. And so when I talk about music and I talk about all this stuff, I really only try to talk about, I don't try to go into the gossip and the personal lives and the aspects around the music that isn't the music, because I don't care. There's like, I find inspiration in like the fashion and the dancing and from certain other artists, but if I'm talking about a new album or a new single or anything, I'm talking about the music. Like, there's so much going on in pop culture and in general that and it feels like, not other than like online music criticisms, and even that at this point is becoming more of like people are trying to earn brownie points from fan bases for them saying they like or dislike albums or songs or artists or singles. Like, it seems like less and less people are focusing on the music, which is super annoying. I don't know where that rant came from. Probably ADHD, and I'm drinking an energy drink because it's only 9 o'clock at night. Because I apparently don't enjoy sleep, even though caffeine really doesn't do anything for me. But I'm trying to think what else went on that rant. Yeah, we're going to say that's it. I'm just going to end the episode here because I feel like I left y'all with enough. Be a little bit of a shorter episode. This is like 40-minute episode. Whatever. But I hope y'all are enjoying it. Again, send me your questions for Q&A episodes. The next episode's Q&A episode, and I'm going to record a bunch of these in advance. So probably the next week or two is going to be batched content because I want to spend time with my family when I'm in Iowa. But there's new music coming out, like the Dua Lipa, not Dua Lipa. The new Billie Eilish album comes out in a week or two. There's a bunch of new music coming out this summer, so I'm super excited about new stuff coming out in the next few months. But let me know what y'all thought about the new Dua Lipa album, new Dayglow single, the Caroline Polachek song, Gracie Abrams' new single, and the album announcement. All of it. And if you watch any MTV broadcasts, any of that stuff, let me know what you think. But I don't know. I hope y'all have a great day, great night. Thank y'all so much for listening and watching. Thank you for streaming my music, and thanks for everything else. I'm thoroughly enjoying all this. I love y'all. Be nice, be kind. Yeah, and I don't know how else to wrap the episode with, but other than I have been Landyn Zane, and I always will be, and this is and forever will be For the Record. Adios.